На сегодня отлетаем. Скорость дальше какая? Уходи на движение справа, на движение снова.
Плюс. Очень хорошо. Взаимный угол, кривовой.
Рубрика есть.
Неординарный человек. Давай, основной экипаж. Сначала, потом. Давай, сколько? Надо обязательно.
Да не будет. Так, снимаем шахматы, а то сейчас это прекратится быстро. Все сюда.
Прекрасно. Прекрасно. Да. Вот так, да. Да. Быстренько. Все, я рокировку. И вот мы как бы бежим к рекорду, основная.
So we are trying to break the record. Gennady will log the largest amount of days that a human being ever spent in space, and Scott and I will be performing a one-year mission.
Мастер. Вообще, на самом деле, конечно, такое состояние, что не очень хочется. Особенно после прилета. Никто ничего не заметил. Там люди на мире на станции летали, Поляков летал 4 с чем-то суток.
That's one of the reasons why it's different is because it's going to be, more than twice as long, which means it's going to be a lot more challenging.
And what about the experiment with your brother? What the main idea of this?
So most of those are genetic based, and the stuff with my brother is just really a small part of a much larger science program that NASA and the international partners in Roscosmos have. We have over 400 experiments that'll be going on over the year. Part of that, like 30% of it is Earth based. How to improve life on Earth. Whether it's health-wise or, with medicines or, observing the Earth, the atmosphere, material science, basic physics type stuff. And the other third of the science program is based on exploration, systems and people and physiology to get out of low Earth orbit. And then, the other third is the international partner science, which is a combination of those two things. And then there's this 1 year science, which is part of the exploration part. How do we, understand our own physiology between Misha and I? What's the effect of, long-term microgravity on, our bone loss, muscle loss, immune system, vision, what's the radiation effects over the long term? And then really small part is the experiment with my brother. That's about 10 or 12 investigations. It's mostly genetic based since we're identical twins. We have DNA that's very similar, not exactly the same, and how that DNA expresses itself and how that changes throughout the course of this year is what that is. So it's mostly has to do with samples, physiological samples from us, also stuff with our cognition and mental ability and how that changes. So it's a very small piece. The whole space station program, at large, the whole thing will help in that someday. Not just me and my flight, but all the people that preceded me and all the people that will come after.
Start training. Режим. Минус 30.
Да, конечно. всего лишь.
Разговаривать во время
Давно
пробы-
испытанный.
Разговаривать во время пробы не рекомендуется. Снижается эффект. 45.
Я к нему в ноябре приеду. Вот так. А ты не будешь?
Камеру залить.
Борис, стал Борис.
На камеру, на GoPro. Лопату взял, порыхтелил. Вот когда будет, порыхтелить. Да.
Вот.
Don't want to drown him.
Так, пожалуйста, внимание. Снимаем. Так, снимаем. И еще раз. Обязательно подгнать. Пожалуйста, внимание. Еще раз. Все, спасибо. Билл.
Scott, a couple of questions from me, Robin Avius, NASA Television. As the days wind down toward launch, what are you savoring the most on a day-to-day basis and looking forward the most before you leave the planet for a year?
It's an interesting question because it's different this time than my 3 previous flights, because all of those were different, being the pilot on a Hubble telescope mission on the shuttle and then the commander of the space shuttle to the space station. My last flight was on the Soyuz for a long duration flight. So, this one is a lot similar to that, except it's longer, so it'll be harder. So, the anticipation is different, and I think, probably a little bit later in the week, it'll become, even more real. So, definitely a different experience. As far as, what do I look forward to in the next week or, 6 days? Just seeing my friends and family that are coming down here that'll be here on Tuesday.
The Soyuz encapsulated in the nose fairing yesterday, the hardware now coming together. Is it finally sinking in that the big moment's about to unfold?
Well, like I said, I think it will be later in the week. But it is inside of a week, so you definitely start, thinking that on Saturday, which, is a week away, we'll be launching. So, it's getting closer, getting more real.
Mikhail, I have a question for you. So your 1-year flight will hopefully help us to fly to Mars. Will it be possible to fly for 2 years? You mean a 2-year flight on the station? No, I don't think it will be possible within the next couple of years. And the program has already been improved, and I believe it will be hard to perform that. And I don't think we had such an objective to fly for 2 years. And I believe there were also some plans for you to start preparing for a new flight after you come back from a 1-year mission. Is that true? The thing is that after a 1-year mission, I will have to recover during 1 year on Earth. But if they ask me to do it, I will do it. Pavel Vinogradov mentioned something that you and Scott are a very good team. Do you really feel that unity between the two of you? Yes, I absolutely agree with Pavel. We have a wonderful team. We're friends, and I'm very happy that we're flying together.
Friend with Mikhail.
We're even closer now than we were years ago. We've known each other for a very long time.
Gennady, I have a question for you. I think that there will be some new type of software on the Soyuz vehicle that will be allowing a new type of interaction between a human being and a vehicle. Yes, the whole world is already using that type of software. So are you planning to use that on the Soyuz? Yes, we will be using Samsung tablets, and you can buy it over the counter, and you can be using that software also to be able to operate a space vehicle. No, of course not, but to use that software that you're talking about. You can use a tablet that any person can go to the store and buy. Scott, what are you thinking about space traditions that have existed in Russia since the times of the Soviet Union? For example, tree planting ceremonies. So what are you thinking about them?
Being away from Russia.
You know, it has crossed my mind that, you know, if this is actually my last flight, you know, I'm not going to spend that much more time in Russia anymore. And it's, you know, and when I realize it's my last time here, you know, hopefully I'll never realize that. But when I do, it's definitely a place I'll miss. I really have come to, you know, love this country and its people. And, you know, certainly the tradition of the space program is, you know, is really, you know, something I'm very, very, very fond of.
Scott, your Soyuz crew patch shows marathon runners. Is that how you view this mission, an Olympic-style marathon for a year in space?
Yeah, I hope it's more of a marathon. My last station flight, the 6-month flight, was more like a 6-month-long sprint. So I'm definitely going to have to pace myself a little bit better and, you know, hopefully be kind of the same crew member on the last day as I was on right at the beginning of the flight.
Gennady, one more question for you. Yes, of course. You are flying to space for the 5th time. How important is the tree planting ceremony for you? How important are traditions for you? Well, we are standing near the tree that was planted by Yuri Gagarin. I think that is a wonderful tradition. We love our traditions, and each cosmonaut should plant a tree. It is not something unusual. This is what we're doing. Look how many trees are planted here. Veteran cosmonaut Mr. Popov was asked what he thought about those traditions. He thought they were necessary. I absolutely agree with him. Are you planting trees in your country house? Yes, of course. 150 trees approximately. I'm planting them all the time. That is wonderful. Of course. Thank you. This year we will be celebrating 60 years of Baikonur. Are you planning to celebrate that? Thank you for the reminder. Which date is that? Oh, yeah, of course. We will be celebrating that. Please write it down. I'm sure that Mission Control Moscow will send us a reminder. In fact, our partners and our cosmonauts have a list of holidays that we will be celebrating. And of course, we're trying to follow all the traditions as well. And we're always ready to record some greetings or some celebratory addresses to celebrate some anniversaries on Earth. Mikhail, you'll be celebrating your 55th anniversary in space. Yes, last time I was celebrating my 50th anniversary. And hopefully my next flight, I will be celebrating my 60th anniversary. So what are you talking about now? You mean this type of clothing? What is your question about? You should ask Gennady. He is the commander. So please answer this question. So we believe that our flight is very similar to what people who run marathons do. Scott and Mikhail and I will be participating in this, so it will be a record marathon this time. So can you please explain what is why your patch looks like that? You can see it here. Here it is. You will see that it says 1-year flight. You will see the station. You will see the orbit.
The 13 other people will be on board the station throughout that year mission, represented by the stars on the bottom.
Scott, you and your crewmates have had the privilege, the honor of flying this summer over the 40th anniversary of Apollo Soyuz, which many believe was the birthplace of the international cooperation that we see here today and up on orbit. What are your thoughts about that?
You know, I think they probably couldn't have, the people that were involved in that could have only dreamed that, 50 years later or 40 years later, we'd have this this international space station and the international cooperation we have today. I mean, it's we've come a long way, and we stand on their shoulders, and the accomplishment of the Apollo Soyuz guys to get where we are today.
Hello. There is so little space here. Mikhail, smile, please.
Scott Kelly, Scott, it's got to feel real now. Your thoughts on your inspection of your spacecraft for the last time until launch night and your level of excitement?
It's looks ready to go, and obviously we're excited. Great to be here. I think we're 4 days and about 14 hours from launch, so it's it's an exciting time.
Your frame of mind right now?
Relaxed, ready to go.
It's a new vehicle. It's a new type of vehicle, TMA, and of course this was not our final fit check, but it was one of the necessary fit checks that we have to perform. So all the requirements were met, all the cargo items were placed, and we absolutely believe that we'll be able to dock in 4 orbits. Everything is great. Is that all? Can you repeat? You mean on the station or in the vehicle? The electronic part of the vehicle was upgraded. It's more comfortable, ergonomically speaking. I remember it. It was 5 years ago when my last flight was. So Energia is improving their vehicles. Okay. Yes, of course, it will be so. You will see. I would like to keep it secret. Then you'll be watching closely what we're doing on the station. Be a snowman. Because red, blue, and white are the colors of the Russian flag. So I will be taking a snowman with myself. Oh, yes. I will leave the snowman for Mikhail and Scott. Yes, of course, and we will be keeping it. Mikhail and Scott are already ready to celebrate New Year's, so that's why the snowman will be there with them. All right, thank you. Smile. Thank you very much. Of course. What should we start with? Here. Please sign here also. We want to have signatures of your crew, of course. This is very interesting. That is all. Thank you. Let's keep it here. And we also have one request for you, Gennady. Please, attention. Smile. Please hold it. This is one of our exhibits. Please sign there also. No, this is the cover. So please sign it. Okay. One more time. Smile. Gennady, please hold the hands. Of course.